Hello people, I am the Real Comic Book Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about when Superman fought Dracula in Superman issue 180. The plot is done by Jeff Loeb and Jeff Johns, and the script is written by Jeff Loeb. The pencils are by Ian Churchill. This is a great issue. It's just a fun one-off. It's not really connected to much else, but it is a great one-off issue. And before I get into it real fast, the mod I'm using is by Hiator Fraga, and there's also a Discord for Arkham mods if you want to check that out. Those will all be linked in the description. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. So this issue starts off showing us that Lois has been invited to interview this guy called Count Romanoff that lives in this giant castle. And the reason they are being interviewed is because he lives in this country, well, he's the ruler of this country that is having a fight with Zod. Because at this point, Zod was a despot and he had his own little place. And this guy was the ruler of this, these fictional countries, and they're at war with each other. So Count Romanoff wanted to let the people know of the plight that his people were going through, what was going on with this war with Zod and everything. He wanted to let everyone know, so he requested Lois Lane from the Daily Planet come out. So Lois, Jimmy, and Clark all go out there to interview this guy, Count Romanoff. Definitely not Count Dracula, nope, just Count Romanoff. Just looks straight up like a vampire living in a giant castle. But they're there. We get some good banter between Lois and Clark. Lois making jokes about how this guy's got a cape, and so does Clark, and other things like that. And we see that they set up, because they're staying there at this guy's castle, because, it's in this fictional country. There's not exactly like a nice hotel to stay at, so and they're interviewing him, so they stay there at his giant castle. In the middle of the night, we see Lois just wake up and go outside. She's being mind controlled, and a bunch of werewolves surround her. Superman comes out and just beats the crap out of those werewolves, but while he's doing that, Dracula grabs Lois and goes, "Did you bring him?" And then Superman comes to help her, and Dracula disappears, and he grabs Lois. So, did you bring him? Obviously meaning, did you bring Superman? So it sounds like Dracula has plans for Lois. Superman brings Lois back to their room and asks her about everything that happens, like once she wakes up hours later. And she doesn't remember anything. She thinks Clark dreamed it all up. She doesn't remember anything. And this prepares them for going to interview Count Romanoff. So before they go to interview Count Romanoff, it sounds like Lois is still a little bit under his mind control, because she's just completely ignoring all reason. Clark is talking to her about the things that happen and mentioning other things. Like they go down to his wine cellar. Clark grabs his wine, analyzes it with his x-ray vision and telescopic vision, and sees that it's not wine, it's human blood. And Lois is like, you're just jealous of this guy. It's like, okay, Lois is clearly under some spell, because otherwise she'd be listening to Superman right now. It's not like it's some crazy jealous boyfriend or something. It's her husband Superman that is like, hey, this is human blood, but she's like ignoring it. So she's under some sort of trance from Dracula. But we see that she is, well, not Dracula, Count Romanoff, my bad. So she's interviewing Count Romanoff. He's telling her about all the plight of his people, how they're going all through this crap because of Zod, because Zod's such a bad guy and starting this war, and the problems they're having at the border. And then he reveals he's Count Dracula and attacks Lois, and Superman and Clark changes to his Superman suit real fast and starts attacking Dracula. But Dracula just gets him under mind control like that, like super easy. I'm guessing because it's like supernatural magic or something. They don't really explain how he is able to mind control Superman like it was nothing. I'm guessing because it has, like, Dracula has some connection to magic or something like that. I'm not sure. Again, it's never really explained. But they have a little bit of a fight before Superman gets mind controlled. And he tells Lois and everyone about how he's like, I would have, turned you last night, but I wanted to get this interview out to let everyone know what my people are going through. So he legitimately wanted this interview so he could get the word out about what's happening in his country between him and Zod. But that's why he didn't take Superman last night when he had the chance, when he lured Lois out to the werewolves. So then he goes and he bites Superman, and things aren't good for Dracula, because he's able to pierce Superman's skin and bite him. And again, I'm guessing that has something to do with like magic or something. It's not explained, but that's what I'm assuming. So he bites Superman. He goes to suck on his blood, and it doesn't go well for him. He explodes because Superman is a giant solar battery. So Dracula didn't really think that one through. Didn't really do his homework on Superman. Realized that his power comes from the sun. The sun hurts Dracula. Maybe I shouldn't, bite this guy. But he bites him and instantly explodes, and I like that. I thought that was a fun twist. It was good, because you'd think that there'd be some huge scrap between, oh man, Superman and Dracula have a fight, that would be so cool to see. But they don't really fight. They kind of like fight for like a second, and then he instantly gets Superman under his mind control, and he's trying to take Superman because, you know, he's fighting Zod. Who can defeat Zod? Superman. So his plan is to control Superman, turn him into a vampire where he can really have him under his control, and have him fight Zod and help him, you know, beat him. And so that way he doesn't have to worry about Zod anymore. But he bites him, explodes because of giant solar battery that he just bit into. And that's the end of Dracula. And it's funny because Lois is like, yeah, this doesn't really count towards Superman's no-kill rule because, you know, he didn't really kill him. It wasn't Superman's fault. And she even tells Clark that on the way back. And Clark is like, yeah, I know it has... Like, Clark's not feeling bad about it. Because, you know, he was under mind control and got bit. Like, it had nothing... Superman didn't go and just, like, straight up kill Dracula in cold blood. But yeah, that was I like this issue. It was a fun issue. It was a fun one-off, and I figured it'd be fun to talk about today. Just Superman versus Dracula. It's just interesting. It's cool when you see like other characters from popular culture brought into comics. So I really like the idea of Superman vs. Dracula. We've gotten Batman vs. Dracula before. We even got that movie from the Batman TV show forever ago. I remember I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid. I hated the way Joker and Riddler were portrayed in that show. Their designs were just awful. But I remember that movie. That Batman vs. Dracula movie. So it's cool seeing like other characters from that popular culture, like when you'll see Sherlock Holmes or something make their way into comics. So see Superman vs. Dracula is good, and this was back in the day too. This was like mid to early 2000s, and seeing Jeff Loeb and Jeff Johns team up on this for the plot. It's just an interesting, fun story, and there's not much good to talk about with Superman currently, so I have to dig back through back issues to be like, oh, what's something fun to talk about with Superman, like I did with the Doomsday video, because Bendis is currently ruining Superman, and I will have a video out on that. I'm working on that still. I think it's going to be a really good video. I hope you guys like that. But in the meantime, I just want to talk about some random back issues. And again, this is Superman 180. It's a great issue. It's just a fun back issue that I really enjoyed. And Ian Churchill did a great job with the art. And I really like Ed McGuinness's cover as well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments below if you did. And if you're new and you want to see more, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million, son, that someday. You know I'm in the building when I write this way. Put me in the ground when I bite this game,